As we bring in another new year, my appreciation for life itself continues to grow. I've been saying for years, the older I get, the better life continues to get, especially now I've hit my 30s. However, most people give up at 30. Since you're here watching this, I'm guessing you're not one of them. You want to experience all that life has to offer. Congratulations. The outcome of your life simply comes down to the choices you make. Many years ago, I made a choice to never conform to the norm. Over the years, I feel like I've gone sane in an insane world. As we bring in 2020, a new decade and a brand new age, I feel like the old paradigm of working in a job you hate, owning things you don't really need, and feeling stuck in the stress of society will continue to die rapidly. It'll be replaced by people like you, carving their own path regardless of what society says you should do. You'll manifest the experiences you desire more easily. You'll make money in ways that make you feel happy to fuel the lifestyle that you desire. And together, we'll have more deeper and meaningful experiences that fills our hearts with love. Welcome to a brand new age, my friend. You're in the right place. There's no better time to be alive than right now. So if you've been following me for a little while on YouTube, I started making videos about 6 months ago as I was in my van and traveling around a little bit and just making, some very amateurish videos about where I was going. And I had a bit of a desire to want to do that a little bit better and a little bit more frequently. And at the time I was working in Sydney, in the city, for a company. I also had my own company, which I was, just in the final stages of selling, and we sold that in June. And then I decided to move to the Gold Coast. I've been on the Gold Coast since basically July, so for 6 months now. What started happening then was so many people started coming to me to help them out with their digital marketing as well. So I started building this digital marketing agency. Essentially, I had 3 contractors, built it to 6 figures within 6 months, which was, the fastest growth I've ever had for a digital business. However, I wasn't happy. That sort of led me into another phase of burnout. I tend to get there a lot. It's probably the biggest thing that I need to work on in my life is how to avoid burnout. I guess the best way for me to do that is to be more intentional with what I want to do. So 2020 is all about making changes. It's about being more intentional. I'm not setting any goals for the first time in many, many years. However, let's have a little bit of a flashback about what happened last year and some of the changes and challenges that I've had in the last 6 months and what I'm going to do about them this year. Man, it's so hot in this van. So I had a couple of challenges with the van this year. The first one being the solar panels on the roof nearly flying off when I was driving up the highway. That was an interesting one. I didn't even think to check how they were secured onto the roof when I purchased the van, 10 months ago. They just weren't secured properly. So once some headwinds started coming into the van on a really windy day, plus going 110 kilometers an hour up the highway, I guess some wind just got underneath the solar panels and flicked them up and threw them over the side of the van. The other challenge I had with the van was just last month when I was driving back down south to see my family. The left rear tire literally just exploded, and it wasn't a flat tire, it was literally an explosion. And again, I was doing 110 kilometers 110 kilometers an hour down the highway. Yeah, and that wasn't fun either. However, a couple of really beautiful things happened and came from that, which I wrote about yesterday, and I'll expand on another time maybe. But one of the biggest premises that I hold within my life, and one of the best presuppositions that you could ever have for your life, is that no matter where I am right now, it's exactly where I need to be. And that life is always working out for me. The biggest part of me knows that my inner being knows the path of least resistance to everything that I want. And sometimes a tire exploding is actually the biggest gift you can get, because it leads you into something else that is much more magical. And if that didn't happen, then there's no way that experience would have actually occurred. So that was a couple of things with the van. I've also decided to stop working out of co-working space and working completely in the van, which means I needed more power. I'll show you them right now, actually. They just don't seem to be enough. Now, the challenge that I have is, so you can see them down in here. So they're 205 amp hour ones. The challenge I have is that because I didn't build this van, right? So because it's under the seat, there's only a certain amount of room that we have in there to fit some batteries. And the batteries that I want actually don't fit in there. So I wanted to get some lithium batteries so that I could run my laptop, upgrade the inverter, all of those types of things. Couldn't find anything that would fit in there, and it was becoming quite a challenge. So the next thing that I did was I bought so it's a Goal Zero Yeti 400 lithium battery pack. It'll run 240 volt, so your laptops and all of those types of things. It's got a USB, a few USB chargers, and it's got a 12 volt cigarette lighter charger there as well, so that's been a really good investment for me. What I used to do was I had a co-working space and I'd charge it up in there, every couple of days when I needed to. So one thing I've changed this year, and especially as I drive around Australia, is that I'm not going to have a place to work out of every single day like I did. So what I did was, because I was actually really impressed with the Goal Zero quality, I decided to purchase some extra from them. So I'm actually using them right now. So on the ground there, Boulder 100 briefcase, it says it right there on the thing. So basically that's just a solar panel, and I can plug that into the one inside. But I've also got the Yeti 1000 now as well. When I started using my laptop a little bit over an hour ago, I was on 95% battery, 94 actually. Now it's on 95. So I had that plugged in while I was actually using my laptop, so the power didn't actually go down at all, or if it did go down, it's been probably 20 minutes. I haven't used it now. It's already gone back up in that 20 minutes. Yeah, I guess the challenge is going to be, getting sunshine on that in order to charge it up. In order to charge this one up fully from solar, it's going to take probably 2 or 3 days of sun. However, if I use it all and I need to charge it up, then I'll just book into a caravan park for one night in a powered site and just run 240 volts from straight into there to charge it up, and that will get it charged up overnight easily enough. Now, the other change that I made with the van was extending the bed. I've been sleeping diagonally on my bed for a long time now, and sometimes it was a little bit uncomfortable, especially if the van was on some sort of angle at night, which it often is if you're parking like on the side of a road, because a lot of the roads tend to go angled down towards the gutter. And that was getting a little bit uncomfortable. So I've got a piece now that will attach in to, as you can see, this bit of timber here. We've already pulled off from that section. So that was just like a covering fascia, like a covering bit of timber to make it look nicer. And what I'm going to do is put in another strip on top of here, and then a little bit of Velcro. And then basically that's going to sit on there like that. And then we're going to have a bit of timber that comes right out to about here, to basically make it about 2 meters long. And then I'll sleep long ways like this, which will give me much more room. We put in up there some Velcro strips, so it all just sits on top of Velcro. And then down this end, we've obviously got the legs, 1, 2, and 3. And I've just got them sitting on carpet at the moment for each of these sections. So this carpet here is normally just down here by the door. So when I'm using it, it'll just sit up there like that. And then basically I just need to get another bit of foam that will sit on top of this tabletop. The legs should come undone, and the legs will fit behind the actual door right behind me down in there. And the tabletop will sit on top of the existing bed down there. Sure, it's a little bit annoying trying to put that up and take it down every morning, but it probably takes 60 to 90 seconds. So I've got plenty of time these days to actually do that, and it's definitely been worth it. The other thing I found over the last few months was realizing that I need to take time to not always be stealth camping. I spent 10 months for virtually the entire year last year. So for 10 months since I got the van, I only paid for a caravan park twice for 2 nights in a row. And that was when my tire blew up, just down the road in Mullumbimby. If that didn't happen, I wouldn't have paid for camping at all, anywhere. And I find that moving every single day is a little bit of a stress on my mental body. And there's a lot of uncertainty when moving around all of the time. One of our core needs as a human being to live prosperously and fully in a state of wellness is certainty. And running a business, there's very little certainty in that. The only certainty in my life at that time was everything is uncertain, and that's quite stressful. So moving forward, I do plan to spend maybe one night or two nights every 2 weeks in a caravan park. That will allow me to charge the battery packs. It'll allow me to be in one place to get some work done, and it'll allow me to just slow my body down to get in that really restful state. And yeah, hopefully that will alleviate those sort of concerns that I have, or those challenges, or just the way that I was feeling. And I think that's a pretty important lesson for a lot of people out there who want to live the van life, is like that it takes a certain person to actually live this life. However, there are and it's a challenge for everyone, right? Whether you're super adventurous or not. And especially when running a business, if you're running a business, I highly recommend that you set your business up in a way that when you pay for your camping spots, that would actually be considered rent for your business, right? And I'm not an accountant, so definitely double check that. But that's basically what I do, and I charge that to my company, and basically the company pays for any expenses with the van. And because it's my office, it's my home, it's my office that I do all my work from, right? Look into that. It's definitely a great way to help get around, help pay less tax and all of those types of things. But it also is really important for your mental wellness. And finally, I want to touch on some of the fun things. Like, I spent so much time working last year that I've really been prioritizing having more fun for the last week or so over Christmas and the New Year period. And that I've got back into surfing. I've been surfing most days. So my foam surfboard is starting to get a little bit outdated now. As I'm turning into the wave, it's sliding out a little bit. So I need to get back into buying a fiberglass board again, which is exciting. But I've also bought a pump up stand-up paddleboard, and I was a little bit hesitant at buying a pump up one because I've used them before and they weren't that great. However, I paid a little bit extra for a racing shaped stand-up paddleboard, and it's actually really good, and I'm pretty happy with it. So I think I paid Australian maybe $300, $330, and that came with the stand-up paddleboard itself. It came with the fin, it came with a pump to pump it up, and your things to fix up any holes and things like that. And the best part is it fits in the van, in the back, underneath, perfectly. So it's good for when there's not many waves. Or today, like, I went down to the beach at 6:30 a.m. today, and the entire car park and all of the side streets were already taken by cars and people getting down there early. Yeah, so there are a couple of things that I've been prioritizing, and just trying to spend a little bit more time with friends and things like that. It's something that I've not done for a while, and I made a few sacrifices for business, which has been great. However, it's time to prioritize a few other things next year. So now that brings me to this year, and this year's non-goals and the vision for this channel. I have exciting news that at some point this year I'm going to leave and do a full lap around Australia, and I want to take you on this journey. Now, this is an area that actually scares me. Making videos, I don't feel like I'm the best storyteller or the best vlogger or whatever you want to call it. I'm definitely not the best filmmaker. It's an area that I find really inspires me when I look at other people's videos. I have had so much growth in the last 7 years, from personal development to meditation to business to investing to living the digital nomad life, to selling a business, to going to different retreats and doing plant medicine, and all of those amazing things that really help you live on purpose and make you feel really grateful for the life that you live. However, I haven't recorded that. The biggest challenge that I've had in business, and probably my weakest skill in business, is actually creating content and putting it out on social media and growing social media. So I really have a desire this year. It's not a goal, it's a desire to be better at creating content, specifically on YouTube. I see that as being a platform of the future, and a very valuable platform of the future. And and it's not too late to start a YouTube channel, absolutely not. I have a lot of people that I'm connected with online who literally started a YouTube channel 12 months ago and are already over 100,000 followers. So it just comes down to having really great content and being consistent is probably one of the biggest things. And then a little bit of SEO and optimization of your videos to actually grow that. And one of the things that you need to understand is that you need to speak to a specific person and really niche right down. So there's going to be basically two things that I talk about on this channel. Number one is van life. So, taking you on the adventure around Australia, all the places that I go to, the challenges that I'm coming across, how I navigate those challenges, the landscape and the environment, and the destination guides of each particular place, plus how I'm living in the van as well, and the things that I do on a daily basis to keep this lifestyle going. And then the second thing is how to live in a location independent lifestyle. So right now I'm putting together a really amazing free online event for you, interviewing 20 plus of the world's leading digital nomads. So my goal is to accumulate as many different digital nomads making as money as, in 20 different ways, so that you can learn how to do that too for free. And that's basically like a kickstart guide into getting you into this lifestyle so that you can live the life that you desire. Gone are the days of working 40 hours. Well, nobody works 40 hours anymore in a full-time job. It's 50 to 60 hours for 40 plus years just to pay off a mortgage that you don't really want. What our generation wants and desires, and not just our generation, but there's so many people, it's the time of awakening, right? People are realizing they don't want things, they want experiences. And having a business or a source of income that supports your lifestyle, rather than working for the man and being trapped in this place that you don't want to be, that's going to continue to grow exponentially in this year, especially in this decade. And I'm going to share everything that I know and everything that I've learned over the last 4 to 5 years. And I'm going to bring together a lot of experts who will be able to share the same thing. This is going to be a few really exciting projects for me this year. Here's my selfish reason for putting together something like this. Sometimes it gets lonely on the road, man. And I want people out there who are doing the same thing, who I can connect with and hang out with and live this lifestyle with and have the same conversations and support each other and lift each other up when we're down, and to help and bring everyone up into having this type of lifestyle as well. With the experience that I have in marketing, I know how to do this in a way that is free for most people, but I also need it to be sustainable for me, right? So there'll be a small percentage of people who will pay some money for some of the things. That's just enough to allow me to live my lifestyle. I'm in a fortunate spot right now after selling my company last year that I don't actually need to make any money this year if I don't want to. However, I don't want to lose money in my business either. I'm not silly like that. Everything that I make this year will actually go into growing that. And what that means is that I'll be able to create a whole lot more free content and get a whole lot of really great information for free out to most people who need it most. So yeah, my intention this year is to have more fun, spend more time at the beach, living close to the ocean, and surfing more. My second thing is doing work that really makes it fun for me and not prioritizing work over everything else. I'll take on, one client every month or every 2 months. That's more than enough for me. And that will be a lot of fun for me because I'll stay in the game and I'll keep running Facebook ads and all of those types of stuff. And then finally, I'm really just want to capture my adventure this year. Not only am I going around Australia, but I'm traveling to the USA and Central America. So I'm doing a cruise around the Caribbean because there's this amazing workshop on the cruise. And then I'll probably go to Costa Rica, maybe do some surfing, maybe do another ayahuasca retreat, which this is the first time I've shared that with you. Maybe I'll talk about my last retreat another time. And then, after that is over, then I'll come back and start the trip around Australia. So there's a lot coming up. So basically if you're still watching this is my pitch to get you to subscribe to the channel. I'd really love to take you with me on this journey, and I'd love to hear from you most of all. It's like, what do you want me to share mostly? Pop a comment down below. You can direct message me on Instagram at mitch.asser if you like. I get back to everybody, so you feel free to hit me up there. And can't wait to share this journey with you. Happy 2020. Have an amazing year. Hope you get everything that you want. Stick around and you definitely will get closer to your goals if your goal is to live as a digital nomad or in a van. So see you next time. Bye-bye.